This mower doesn't need parameter wire. It's fully GPS guided. I'll show you how I install it at my house if it really works as advertised. Big thanks to Segway for sending me that Navimow X3 robot lawnmower to test. I'll show you how I set it up, what I like, what I don't like, and then we're going to go and test it in my backyard. So here's what you're going to find inside the box. You're going to have the Navimow. It weighs just a little bit less than 44 pounds. It has already a built-in battery that is 21 volt at 8 amp hour. Next, you're going to have the charging dock. There's two pieces that you'll have to assemble. And this is to charge. So that also go with your charging dock. Next thing, you're going to have your antenna. The antenna comes with a cable that is a little bit over 19 feet. You have an extension that is 33 feet for your antenna, your spike to put it on the ground, your post to install it in. I have two posts, and then you have that other extension here. Clip your antenna on top. It comes with 20 spikes. Now, those are just plastic, so be careful. The other thing that it comes with is some screws to secure your docking station down. It comes with an Allen key. It doesn't say what size it is on there. Those are also plastic. So we have our little extra antenna for the RTK. You also have your charger. Your charger is 224 watt. It is output of 32 volt at 7 amp. Really, it should charge this battery in an hour. It's supposed to be a quick charge. It also comes with extra blade. Now, this takes about 6 blades, and I believe that you have 18 blades on there. So 2 little carrying box with all the screws that you need to secure your blade. And you have some Velcro here. I'm not quite sure what that's for yet. Before we get started with the installation, we need to download the app. Okay, now we have to set up our antenna. So the first thing that we're going to do is grab our RTK antenna, screw it in at the bottom. Then you're gonna get this plastic piece. There's a spot to hang your wire at the back. So now you just line up this hole at the front with that little tab on the side here. There's 2 pins that are on each side, and they will line up into those grooves right here. We just have to install our 2 other posts. So one of your posts is going to have a threaded in at the bottom, and it's actually to thread in your spike. If you want to put it tighter, you can also use a wrench on here. There's a clip here to keep pressure on your post. You're going to put your post like this. You can press the clip down a little bit. The thing that you have to watch is this other post, the plastic post. I have a spot for a screw here, which only have 1 hole and the 2 little slots for your plastic pieces. So we're just gonna put that on top like this, and now we're just gonna grab our little screw that came in a separate package. Now you can hook up your wire, and this will prevent your cable from getting pulled out of here by accident. Before we connect our antenna, we're going to get our base ready. So there's some slats onto this side, clips onto this side. We just have to line all of those up and clip them together. Now our charger is going to go on this end, and the base of it is going to clip in here. The clip, there's a button to release your clip at the bottom. It goes towards the back of your plate. So there's actually a slotted part. You're going to have to hook it up into our plate first, and then after that, use the latch. Now, in the back of your unit, you're going to see that this is the antenna signal. So this wire goes to your antenna, and this is going to your power supply. Your extension cable, 33 feet extension cable, actually have 4 connectors. A 4 connector is for the power supply for your docking station. So that means that your antenna itself can only be 19 feet from your docking station. Download the app, install, open it, create an account. One thing that I noticed, I was trying to register and activate my account using my phone, and it actually didn't end up working. I had to use an email address. But now let's activate the robot. I actually press the OK button in the center for 1 second. I didn't have the power button pressed long enough. After I pressed it long enough, then it started to have that symbol on here. So we're connected or paired. Press OK button. Okay, it was just a quick press to be able to do it. I was doing a long press, which was turning off the unit. Okay, I finished setting it up on the internet. Now we're ready to activate. Perfect. Yeah, that's all the item in the box that we've been looking at. And now we just have to follow the instruction to do the setup. Setting up this lawn robot was a little bit longer than expected. I tried a few spots in my front yard and I was not able to get a clear open sky in order to get strong GPS signal over there because it's too much tree cover. The charging station needs to be installed 6 feet away from your house. Alright, first time going mowing. I just finished mapping the yard. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to stop for obstacle. I make it so I have to climb this steep hill here. On the remote it didn't work that good. I was spinning the tire around this area. And I also didn't do a no-mow zone around this furniture. So we're going to see how it does. So far so good. I didn't play with the blade adjustment. You can play with the adjustment in millimeter. We'll see how it goes. The grass here is pretty tall, so it doesn't look like it's trimming it. Then I have other lawnmower robot, and I'm gonna tell you that in that spot they lose GPS signal, so they usually get stuck and I have to drive them with the remote. This one so far, I didn't have to touch the remote. Alright, more tall grass. We're going to see how it goes. If it detects an obstacle, it's going to move away from it and redo a little bit of mapping to go around the obstacle. It's going pretty quick. Actually, I think it saw those plants as an obstacle. We've been having a drought and I haven't cut the grass here for a while. This is why like some of the grass, it started to rain a few days ago. Some of the grass is green, the rest of it is still dead, and we have lots of weed growing all over the place. But one of the interesting thing that I have to tell you is when you're going to set up your parameter, I know that because of my other robot, but you want to leave a little bit, like maybe 6 inches from what you're setting up or fence or anything like this, because you're going to have to trim the grass anyway, and you don't want the robot to try to turn around and actually hit anything as it's turning, because then it's going to remap your map and modify it, and it won't cut the way that you want. So it's better to just leave a little space. So I did that area here, and as you can see, we're underneath the catalpa tree, and this is another place where this whole area here, I cannot send my other robot to go and cut any of this because it loses the GPS signal underneath that tree and it just refused to go there. So, and then when it turns, it just hits the fence over here. Oh, now this one get stuck a little bit, but it managed to be able to go around it. Now they're saying that when you're going to mow your lawn, you need to stay about 6 feet away from it. You don't want it to see you as an obstacle and actually remap the map around you as a no-go zone for now. Oh, maybe I was too close. I just heard the blade stop. I'm going to back up a little bit. It's my first time trying this robot. So far, I'm pretty amazed with it. Now it says on the instruction, which I didn't follow that part, but it tells you that you should cut the grass with a regular lawnmower or with just the remote control at the beginning, because what's happening right there, it sees those overgrown weed as obstacle and it's trying to avoid them instead of cutting them. Plus the other thing that it is, it's those are maintenance lawnmower. So because of that, there's just short blades on it. They're almost like a razor blade. They're not big lawnmower heavy duty blade like you would have in a push mower. So because of that, it's not made to cut like big thick weed that you would have. It's made to maintain your grass. Because of that, you should start with a good grass already pre-cut and then just make your lawnmower robot keep maintaining it. It keeps coming close to me. We're going to redo the patio here. This is why there's some board we had to dig because we had flood before. So, and then around that patio area, I'm going to do a patio under all of this. I'm going to have to remap this around, but I'm just trying it right now to see how it goes. Actually, maybe I'll go right now on the hap and lower the blade and see if it does a better job cutting everything. I'm going into the map. I pause everything. For now, you're gonna click on those 3 dots at the top left corner. I'm adjusting the height of the mowing. So global cutting height, which is the third one down here, it's saying 77 millimeter. I clicked on there. It was 100, just the maximum set from factory. So I lower it and then click save. That will lower your blade and do a better cut. I don't want to do it too low just because of the tree roots around here. Right now it's on a slope. I don't know if you guys try to make you see how the slope is, but yeah, it's a pretty good slope on here, and it doesn't have trouble going up and down at all. Now you can put the feature about traction control to give it a little bit more traction so it doesn't spin the wheel and damage your grass, which I turned on mine. Another thing I did with it too is I did this on purpose just to test it. But this area right here, this is the steepest area in my yard, and everything always gets stuck right here. And I got the lawnmower to go. Now it's spin the wheels a little bit and see the track in here, but it was able to climb this area. It's doing quite a good job. And I took it the 70 millimeter. Oh, there's a ball there. Is it going to go over? I don't know if it turns because of the ball, because the dog just put her toy right there, or if it was actually because it was just turning to go cut the grass again over there. Well, under this way. This thing's been pretty good. Every time it get close to the fence, if the wheels start spinning a little bit and I have trouble, it's able to stop the blade, turn itself a couple times, figure out a path in order to be able to get out of his trouble, and then just resume mowing just like nothing ever happened. Another big pro from this machine is when you're mapping your yard, usually if you do a mistake, you have to remap everything. But Segway, actually their app is awesome. You just press the erase button, and as long as you hold it, it's gonna back up exactly in the path that you made it go. And then you can just erase that part as it backs up, and then you can just move forward again and then keep mapping and resuming everything that you're doing. Now there's 6 blades underneath there. It's cutting an area, a diameter of about 9 or 10 inches. There's lots of spare blade that came with it. The other neat thing too, I'm going to make a patio underneath the patio furniture here. That's where we're having our little fire at night. And because of that, I didn't bother like mapping this out as a no-go zone. And the robot actually didn't bang in any of the furniture. Even those tables here. Like, look at the size of those legs. I was surprised that the robot actually went around this. The collision avoidance seems to be working very good. I went too close to it earlier and it actually stopped the blade. It kept moving a little bit, but it stopped the blade to keep me safe. My dogs keep going and looking at it, and it's stopping. Doesn't hit any of the patio furniture. It detects trees, it detects kid toys. Yeah, every time you hear the beep like this, when it's beeping, it's because it's stopping the blade, because it's trying to just move around an obstacle or it's stuck somewhere. And right now it's on a big dip, so it's kind of stuck there. So it stopped the blade until it is able to figure out how to get out of there, and then it'll resume the cut after. Now the con about this yard robot is obviously the price. You're getting one of the top of the line machine here, so you're going to pay the price for it. The other con is you cannot set the antenna exactly wherever you want or against your house. Same thing for the base. They need to be at least 6.5 foot from your house. So that's a con right there. But it's pretty much the same with any lawn robot that you're going to get out there. It is very quiet. The only thing that you're hearing is a little bit of wind noise from the blade spinning around, but other than that, I barely hear anything. Now you should consider subscribing, because in about a month from now, I'm going to give you an update video of how it handles everything after I figure out more things about how to make it work exactly the way that I want, and probably remap it so that I can have access to the front yard with it. So we'll see you in the next video.